All right, welcome to the Nick Vertucci Show. I am Nick Vertucci, and I am here with Valerie Brill. Valerie, what's up?
Cue the intro.
Bring your motherfucking receipt and show us so we could support you. If not, shut the fuck up. Come out hot, if I can ask you about Jaka.
We had an inappropriately close friendship.
Okay, I'm going to press you.
The casinos cheat.
They cheat how?
What's up, guys?
You're right, you're wrong, you're right. What am I going to put on a pair of glasses and a nose
I
and
remember.
walk in?
Telling everybody I'm the best.
I can't punt. That would look bad.
The mental anguish.
This is what my plan was from the beginning, is that nobody remembers her name.
So, Nick, we've had a long day today.
Yeah.
And I've got quite the headache. I don't know if you know why, but have you been to Pebble Beach? Are you a golfer?
No.
Yeah, so my boyfriend went and yes, I know everyone's like, she keeps bringing up a boyfriend. Yeah, well, you know,
That's
it is
all
what
we
it
talk
is.
about now.
Yeah, it's all we talk about. We went to Pebble Beach. He shot a round of golf. And so I went to all the like viewpoint, lookout points. It's beautiful up there. You should get up there.
It looked, what you posted looked amazing.
And then I heard there was a clubhouse. And a lot of hoity-toity people hanging out of the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm drinking Camus, $50 a glass, with guys older than Biden.
Were they buying?
I don't remember at the end of the night who paid for. Honestly,
Yeah, I believe it.
I have to check my credit card. I might have paid for a couple of my own glasses.
Well, your ass was dragging when I picked you up today.
I almost canceled.
Yeah.
But I knew that we have like so much stuff set up this weekend. It
Yeah.
would be such a disappointment.
Yeah, for people who we just tell so they can timestamp this, it's Saturday the 9th. It's the day before the meetup game. You're coming to the meetup game.
Yes, I'm super excited
We
for that.
interviewed Mariano today. We interviewed Caitlin. We're doing this show. You did something else you did. So, yeah, you couldn't cancel. We had too much going on.
Yeah, Jaka coaching tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Interview.
Yeah.
Which I've been very much waiting for, as I have a lot to talk to him about.
I bet you do.
Especially with the Jack 4 stuff and his
Yeah.
his Jack. She put the Jaka coaching sticker on the water bottle while she's playing. His shit must have blown up.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know, he was Robbie's coach. I don't know if he still is, but he was
I think
at
he
the
still
time.
is
he?
And he's been coaching a lot of people who are winning tournaments. And you and I both played with him at the World Series of Poker this last year.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to hear his thoughts on Jack 4.
Yep.
I know he's like posted a few videos, but like I'd like to talk to him about it and get to the bottom of it. And then you had some things to talk to him about.
Yeah, we were at the same table for a little while during the day one day, and of course I recognized him and he recognized me, and he said he would give me his opinion on some things after to talk about that situation, but we were playing, and we just never circled back.
Well,
so this will be good because I'm curious.
It's the new year. You know, we circle back to things. It's like corporate.
Yeah.
So we put out an interesting episode. I think all the ones that you and I do together are, for me, the most fun. Because then you and I just yammer, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of like a girl. I like to yammer.
Yeah, by the way, the girl thing, what is the little butterfly thing on your wrist?
Oh, the butterfly. The butterfly thing is, as you know, back in, I think it was November, my niece passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, and so she liked butterflies, and somebody in the family, everyone is wearing them for her.
Aww.
Her name was Dominica. We called her Minnie, and she was 19. Was struggling a little bit with addiction, and unfortunately OD'd on fentanyl. Yeah, it was very sad. She was literally my favorite of. I mean, like I was really close to her. She, it was so sad. The last year before this happened, she was doing so good. She got healthy. She was the most witty. She was an independent person. That's why I was drawn to her, because we were kind of the black sheep in the family, just both ways, right? And she was doing really good. I used to talk to her, text her for a year almost straight. And I think she just had 1 weak moment. And now these days, it wasn't like when I was growing up. You can't just party. You can't just snort something or do something that, because it's all laced with fentanyl now. And it's like that.
Yeah, incredibly
I
sad.
didn't mean to go into the whole thing, but you asked.
I know, yeah. I mean, I was young and dumb and did some stupid shit when I was young, and it's not all online, and it wasn't as dangerous as it is now.
Everything's more dangerous. I mean, when I was a kid, you could be outside, you could ride your bike past dark, you could
snort
do
everything that's in front of you.
Yeah, I was snorting like when I was a teenager. I was snorting everything I could get my hands on, and you just can't do that these days. And it's really scary because there's a lot of like adults that are like regular people in society that every once in a while like will go out and they'll just do something to like have a fun night. Like, not that I'm straight edge, I don't do anything at all, but
sleep chocolate.
Sleep chocolate because I need to sleep. But other than that, and these like folks, like normal business, not addicts, they die because of fentanyl. So people have to be very careful. Don't smoke or snort shit anymore. I'm telling you, that's really a big deal.
Just do sleep chocolate. It's good for you.
The sleep chocolates are amazing.
I mean, I brought my sleep chocolates. I have sleep different flavors. I don't do the chocolate so much. Your chocolates are a little weak though. I have like 4x the potency in my sleep stuff. Yeah, see, I'm not good on. I told you my edible story. I don't smoke pot. I don't snort anything. I don't do anything. I don't even drink. But I do those because I can sleep. So I just want to feel relaxed. I don't want to be high. I'm not good high. I get paranoid and I can't breathe or swallow. See, I'm a good high person because I do not get paranoid at all. I just have so much fun. I laugh at everything. And I think about how we can get a mission to Mars. I think that's the most important thing my mind wants to think about. Well, hopefully you figure it out and go. I have figured it out. 10x over. Stay there when you get there. I should start writing when I'm high. We'll satellite you in. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to hear that. So we had an episode that was like a lot about Postle. If anyone wants to see it, it's King of the Jungle. And a few things have come up since then. Okay. One being Postle going on to Omar's space. And I actually did, on my own YouTube channel, I did not a review, but like I responded to everything that he was saying. For 2 hours, that man rambled and said nothing. So for those of you who don't know, because you maybe don't, but Twitter, they know Spaces, but he was on a Spaces, and the guy's name that was like hosting is Omar, and is the type of person to give him a platform to let him roll like that. And so I didn't listen to it, but go ahead. Tell us what it was about. I would say that before he went on to Omar's space, I was really like hesitant to give him a platform. Hi, buddy. Go ahead. But now that he went on there and kind of said nothing and kind of sounds dumb, just to be honest with you, and doesn't really have anything to say and hasn't really come up with a good reason for anything that he did, I'm like, you know what? Fucking bring him on. And he spent a lot of the time of that podcast blaming me for everything, blaming me for like him not being able to play, blaming me for whatever. And so now I think, you know what, Postle, I think you should interview him. I don't know if I want to be there, to be honest with you, because I just like don't feel like going through that stress, and I know he's going to try to drag me. I don't know if he's going to do a good job because of the way he talks. He's just like not the brightest. But Doug Polk offered him to stake him to play at the lodge. Yeah. And he could keep his own profits. To see if he can maintain the number or the percentages. I was actually very curious when I saw that. If you would allow Mike Postle to play on Hustler, I'm not saying to stake him, but just in general, would you allow him to come on and like try to prove his 78% win rate? Well, you kind of surprised me with that question. So that's good, because then you're going to get a straight. Hey, buddy, you eating the studio? Yeah, so Nick's cat's literally eating the studio. Yeah. Is that why he's so fat? Because he got fat. He's eating the studio. Yeah. Look, I've often told you this, and in the past, it probably annoyed you a little bit. I don't have any skin in the game with Mike because I've never watched one hand until today. I watched one, and yeah. I did. I watched one. Hold on, relax. Don't try to bait me. Hey, listen. Move on. Go over there. All right. It is tough. Like we normally can make it through the cats, but when they're eating the studio, that's different. I think we have to. Yeah, we have to take that more. We have to take that more serious. Yeah. Right.
So I'll answer it this way. Look.
And before I do,
I think that Doug should have him on. If Mike's going to go do that for the purpose of trying to show stats, I think he should go on Doug's, because Doug would take the time to analyze it, care about it, all that. I think if Mike came on our show, I don't think I would do that, and I think it'd have a different. I think
I'm talking about Hustler Casino Live.
I know, yeah.
So even if you got him on there and you didn't feel like breaking down the hands with Mike, everyone on the internet will.
That's fine. He can come on.
So you would let him on Hustler Casino Live?
I don't know. I think so. I'd have to talk to Ryan.
I think Max Payne Monday is very much the way
the same
Stones
vibe.
Live Poker used to play.
Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to come on, I don't think he would do that. But I don't know, because I've never asked him. So we'll see what happens.
Mike, I think you should. I think you're such a good player. I think you should. And prove me wrong. Yeah.
So you want me to tell people where we're at with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So where we're at is this. Doing the really fast recap. I was contacted by Mike. Everyone knows that now. I did make the mistake of going on Spaces and mentioning it, and Mike wasn't too happy about it. Why
wasn't he happy?
Well, because I didn't ask him. It wasn't official we were going to do that. And in fairness to him, I said, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't have done that until we really had something inked. And then he went on, like you said, and started talking about stuff like that. So I guess it prompted him to do that. So I think we're good now to be talking about it, because we've been negotiating this for a while. He contacted me, I think, because he thinks I would give him a fair platform to at least come on and say his piece. Initially, when he contacted me, I contacted you. You flipped your shit. You calmed down. Then you said, yes, let's do it. And then you thought about it and thought, I don't really want to be subject to that type of thing and give him a platform, so you decided not to. I didn't think I was the right person for it, because I have not watched any hands. I never immersed myself in that. I don't have an opinion, only because I've not done anything on it. That would be the only reason. And I tried to get him to agree to do it with Doug or with I asked Joey. He declined.
As a moderator, or
I would be the moderator.
You would be the moderator
to make sure that everyone got a fair shake and didn't just scream over each other or try to be a particular target. In fairness to the situation, to have a discussion and to go over facts and say what everyone had to say. That would be my role. Somebody like Doug or somebody else's role would be is that they've researched this, and if they, wanted to talk hands, I wouldn't be the right guy to do that, because I haven't researched anything. Mike didn't want to do that, and I don't think I was the right person. So, since then, what I have thought about and discussed with you is, if I do this, I would take a couple months, at least 2 or 3, because I'm busy too, so it would take me time, is to immerse myself into the hands, into a lot of the details, a lot of the personal stuff. And then my goal would be, and I did message Mike today, my goal would be I'm not going to give an interview to allow Mike just to come in here and say whatever he wants to say. He can say whatever he wants to say, as long as it's in the guidelines of what the subject is. Okay.
Sorry, your cat's climbing the walls.
Yeah, I know, he's climbing. And I would do that, and I would want him to be able to say what he needs to say, whatever it be, as long as it's not nasty. And the other thing would be, I don't want to do an interview. I don't think the poker world would respect me giving a mic and letting him just dictate what we talked about, and we can't talk about a hand. I won't do that. I'm not going to put myself in that position. I don't want to be that guy. So I am proposing to him, which we're not that far into it. I just messaged today, but I'm going to propose to him, and he can decline. He could say yes, is that I will have a fair talk with him. I will immerse myself in this, so I actually know everything, and I am a poker player, so I know enough to know. And if I want to talk about a hand, I will talk about it. If I want to talk about 2 hands, I'd like to talk about it, give him a chance to explain himself. I'd be happy to talk about all the other things that he wants to talk about. I don't want him to come in here and call you names or say things, but if it's a fair subject that has to do with you, then it's on. And the same thing goes, like if you were with him, I would want it the same way. So if he agrees to that, I'm going to do it. I don't know if he'll agree to it. I don't know yet. Him and I still have to talk. But I'm not interested just to give a platform. Like, I'll just say it. Like, you said something to me today. We'll just talk about it because we talk about everything. You said, what's the difference between that or something about Doug and Robbie? I forget the context. You could get the dog in the yard and tell me how it went.
Oh, you're talking about how
what we said in the kitchen.
Okay, yeah, I'm about to say it.
Yeah.
Your cat's fucking insane.
I'm not worried about the cat.
And your cat
Focus.
decided to do
Take
this.
some Adderall and focus. Let's
Your
go.
cat decided to do this right when we started recording. Chill before
yeah,
this.
she was sleeping before that. Or he was.
Yeah, so one thing I said to you in the kitchen was one of the main reasons it solidified me that Robbie probably didn't cheat was the way she responded to everything. She's like, I will go on every podcast. I will talk about every hand. I will talk to anybody. Fuck you, Berkey. All this stuff.
Right.
And that is definitely a response that I would think someone who didn't cheat would have.
Okay.
Mike Postle, on the other hand, was like, no, I won't take any questions. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk about the hands. I won't, in the space, he wouldn't allow any questions. So is that what you're talking about?
Yes, but you also said something. I'm going to have the cat go over there. I also said something, and you compared it. You go, isn't that this? I can't remember what it was. You said, isn't that the same thing, you doing this as this? And you were comparing, and I don't remember.
I said to you.
Yeah, tell me what that is so I could make my point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I said to you not going over any hands, you not knowing any of the situation.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, you would get dragged in the poker community. Second of all, it would be the exact same thing as what Omar did in Spaces and what Mike Matisow honestly did with him when he interviewed him. Mike Matisow is the only person who interviewed Mike after the whole cheating stuff. And Mike Matisow did not ask him a single fucking question of relevance to the situation.
So that's not what it was, though. It doesn't matter. It was something else you said isn't doing this.
Dude,
compared.
I can't get into your head.
Yeah,
I don't
can't.
know what
I
you're
know.
talking
I
about.
thought you knew, so that's why it's fine. It's not for you to know. It's my head. It was my point. I can't make it. It's my problem. Okay, I agree. So forget that. But
I do think it's fair, though, and I'm so happy to hear it, because I think it's fair if you do interview him, but you do immerse yourself in it.
I won't do it without it, because I do not. Oh, that's what it was. It was, you said to me, well, isn't interviewing him like for clicks the same thing as like Doug did with Robbie? Right?
Right, because you were saying Doug's got Robbie playing on the lodge, and he announces to the world, well, she cheated.
Right.
And I'm like, well, you're fucking going to give him a platform for clicks. And that's what you were talking about in the last podcast. Actually, when I watched it, I was like, fuck, this is fucking annoying. Why would you just bring him on for clicks?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So that's what we talked about. And here's what I said. I said I don't mind the clicks. I think it would break the internet. I am a guy that interviews people. That's a good get. With that said, I will not do a fluff interview, and I won't just do something for the clicks. And I made the point. Here's what it was. And I said this.
Oh my God, it took us forever to get
'cause I
here.
couldn't remember.
We're still not fucking here.
I couldn't remember. But I made the point and said, in all due respect, because I'm good with Doug and everyone, we're good. But in all due respect, it's not the same thing, because I could have had Robbie on. I could have had Garrett on, and that would have broken the internet times 10 to do that, or try to get him on the same time or whatever. And I said no to that. And ironically, someone who said that she's 99% guilty had her on the show. And Joey also had hours and hours on her. Maybe he was neutral, I guess, but she sat between them, and everything was great. And they interviewed her, and she played, and that was 4 clicks. I'm not doing it for clicks, although I don't mind getting them, because if I wanted to do it for clicks, I would just interview him. I would softball him. I would let him go on and rant. I might say a few things. I won't do that. The only way I'm interviewing him is if I immerse myself in it, I know what I'm talking about, and we have a fair conversation. I'm not going to look to target him. I'm not going to look to embarrass him. I'm not going to look to be right. I'm just going to take what I see, what I research, and what I know, and say what I think and ask the questions that I think are appropriate. Now, if he can't do that with me, who is not looking just to sink his battleship, then I don't think he should have a platform, because I will be fair, but you have to discuss a hand or 2 or 5 or 10, and you have to talk about what happened, because nobody gives a shit just about what the personal feelings are.
That being said,
yeah,
I showed you one hand today.
Okay, but see, I don't think we should talk about that right now, because if we do, then we're going to get a sense of what I think or what I have to say. I would like to really research it and then give him a chance to get in here when I have my shit together and then talk about it fairly. I don't think I'm ready for that. Okay, did I think the hand you showed me made sense? No. How about that? Is that? I mean,
I think
just
anyone.
give you a macro
I think
answer?
anyone with a brain would have that same answer. Anyone with a brain who's played poker before.
Here's the thing. Yes, I agree with you. But I saw one hand. That's like seeing two hands of Robbie.
Right.
There could
I
be
just wanted to know in
there
a
could be a
vacuum.
justification made.
Yeah, I get
on
it.
one hand,
I
right?
get it.
Because he, the player he played with before, it could be
Yeah.
a million things. So that's why I don't want to say, I'm like, okay, if you want to know, there's been other players that have made some crazy things, but they're one-offs.
Sometimes you're a good cop. Sometimes you're a bad cop. Today you're a good cop.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. I don't know what to say. So yeah, man, that's all I have to say on that.
I thought that episode was really good, and the fact that it moved me emotionally, I was like, oh man, I like. There were some things.
Our last episode moved you emotionally?
Yeah, I was a little pissed off at you after.
Okay.
Because no, it's just that we talked about it because I was like, this fucking Nit Tucci wants fucking clicks.
Mm-mm.
And I feel like you finally come around. Like, okay, I want to interview him, but the fact that you want to look at the hands just makes me happy because I know.
No, I need to interject. I don't agree with that premise, but it's okay.
No, but you cleared it up for me already.
No,
We
I
just
didn't
talked
clear it
about
up. You cleared it up for yourself. I have more to say on what your opinion was of what you thought. You misunderstood me because I cleared it up, and I'm glad that we're clear. But what I'm saying is, just because I had said in the past that it would be a great get, like it would be amazing to get him as someone who has a podcast, and that I would want the viewership. But from the very beginning, I never said that I will do it, A, without your permission, and B, without somebody there that could have a fair... Like I've said weeks ago many times that I will not just give an interview that it can't be the right interview. There has to be the right questions. It has to be the right dialogue. So I never from the beginning said, oh, let's do it. No matter what happens, let's just get him because it'll be great. I never said that. I said yes because I admitted to the fact that I would want the viewership. But even if I go back weeks, I was very clear with you that I would not do this unless A, you were approving of it because of your personal feelings of it. And number two is that it was done right with me just being the moderator and having someone that could discuss fairly what happened. So I'm glad it got cleared up, but I promise you this should have been cleared up a long time ago because I would have never just done this for viewership. We misunderstood each other.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay.
We don't have to get back into this. I feel like we cleared this up.
Yeah, that's
in
cool.
the last
We can leave it there.
episode.
I just wanted to say that.
Das just mean. Oh, that's an interesting way of spelling it. If I were Veronica, I would be very careful about meeting Mike Postle in person. You ruined his life, and he might try to get revenge before he exits the world. In the Twitter spaces with Eden, he sounded really depressed and out of it. I agree. Like, there's a part of me... Not only do I have hesitations because I think he's going to try to stir up lies and try to drag me, but I'm actually like kind of worried about him. Like he doesn't sound stable. And I don't know. I would love for you to just listen to that last interview he did with Omar. He just sounds like he believes his own lies and he does not sound stable. And it is worrisome to me. When I responded, I sent Poker News my response. I don't know if you read that. No.
I don't think I saw it.
I basically said that I think he needs to get help. Like, I think he's delusional. Like, I think he thinks this is all me and my fault, and he believes that. But like I said, hopefully he now can go to the lodge and prove us all wrong and prove how great he is.
I think that would be if he wanted that opportunity, he should take it. If he feels he could match.
It's a free roll. He should take it.
And the other okay.
At the very least, he gets money out of it, more money than he has now.
Here's how I look at it. If he really, you just have to work with me here. If he wants to say he's innocent and he is, then he should have no problem coming on here and discussing the whole situation, hands included. I'll give him a platform. I'll be fair to him. I won't ambush him. And if he's got something to say that helps his cause, he should be dying to get in here and do that. I do understand Not totally, but I kind of could understand if there's somebody that's like really polarizing, that already believes, he's guilty, or already believes this, or already said this a million times, or has a propensity to attack. I could see not wanting to be in that situation. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to attack him. I'm not going to do anything, but I will stand my ground and I will say what I think. So I'm not for viewership just going to give him an interview to bloviate. He's going to have a real discussion
about this whole thing. The way I look at my friends, and it's kind of like with you. You and I disagree on a lot of ideas. With poker, I think like we're mostly fine, and I think we have a pretty good friendship, especially now since we've.
I think so.
How we've decided to communicate.
Yeah.
But I don't think about friends as being outside of the realm of criticism. The criticism is privately handled, typically, depending on what it is. But I don't live in a world where just because I'm friends with them, I'm blinded and refuse to objectively criticize them for something they're objectively doing wrong. But it feels like when you talk about M, it feels you're just like wall up, no criticism allowed, no objective reasoning here. We're just here. I don't know why that is. I don't know. I don't see you like that with everyone else.
Yeah,
I don't know why
I'm like that with you.
I guess like because you and I have decided to openly talk.
No, I'm like that with you. That's how I am. So I'll get to your point, and I get it. What you're saying is valid. I understand it, and that's why I said it's a tough one for me, because I do want to always be honest and talk about things, and you can say anything you want. Like if you need to, just say whatever you want. I'm not jumping on teams and wagons and whatever, but I will respect a person also as my friend. So there's and I don't want to get into this. That's the reason I try to avoid it, because then there's like feelings all over. It would be hard for me to sit here if somebody else is sitting on the mic and saying to you, i.e., let's say I'm talking to Mike, and whatever. Unless I'm doing an interview and I have to be there and I have to debate it. But if I'm not, like, I don't want to do that. And I think differently than you, and it's okay because you and I have come to a really great place. But like, if I think something about you, I won't go into spaces and say it.
Yeah.
I won't. And, but you will.
Well,
kinda, right?
I mean,
I'm different that way.
I won't talk about personal stuff that I see or things that we talk about privately.
Yes.
That was a different situation. But let me say it like
Let me say it like this.
Let me say it like this. And I'm going to say it like this because Tom Dwan.
Okay.
Tom Dwan and I don't know if everyone knows this, are friends. Mm-hmm. We became friends a year and a half ago.
During Jack 4.
Through the Jack 4
Me
stuff.
too. I became friends with him during Jack 4.
I really like Tom.
I do too.
Tom has I don't know if a lot of people out there have had an opportunity to like spend time with Tom. Genuinely a kind person.
I like him a lot.
I do too. He took me to, like, I hung out with him in Vegas, took me out for dinner. We went to a private game. He introduced me to like his friends, and has always just shown me a lot of kindness. Now all this stuff is coming out. He's now on the ACR
example.
team.
I love it.
Yeah, he's on an ACR team, and I know he's shilling for them. And then everyone's coming out with he owes them money. Mm-hmm. But I still look at Tom as this really great person. And it's so hard for me to just like pile on, even though if he owes people money, it's wrong.
Right.
He should pay them back.
You're making you're making my point.
Right. I am making your point.
Yeah.
But like if I were to criticize Tom, I would be honest, because someone replied to me when I put Team Tom on my Twitter,
Yeah,
and
I saw the responses.
They were like, but does he still owe people money, you think? And I'm like, yeah, he does. But I still think he's a good person.
Can I tell you the perfect response of how I would handle that?
But Tom's not on Spaces yelling at people. Just so you know.
No.
He's not an asshole.
No, but it's the same shit when we're talking about supporting someone that you like or that you know differently. So here's how I'll answer that. It's the perfect example you gave, and not because it makes my point, but because it gives me an example to say, here's how I would handle that. The same way I'm doing the M thing or anything else. Okay, someone asked me about it. They want me to be honest. They, have their opinion, or maybe they're really negative on Tom. Here's my answer. I like Tom. I think Tom's great. From what I know about Tom, I'm sticking with the fact that I think Tom's a good person and he's my friend. Number one. I don't have to talk about Tom when I say this, but number 2 is if somebody owes somebody money and they don't pay them purposely, it's wrong.
Right.
So if you want my opinion on that, but guess what? I don't know about the situation with that guy or Tom. So maybe it's true, but I could just say, I like Tom. I'm going to support him. I'm not going to sit in a room where people are fucking dragging him out of respect to him. And at the same time, whether it's Tom I say it to or the world, if you owe people money and you're not paying and you're avoiding that and you're just screwing people over, you're wrong. So two things can exist.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day, is that like I think so highly of Tom, and then someone I am not going to name this person, someone who he supposedly owes money to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think highly of that person
Mm-hmm.
at all, and
Mm-hmm.
I know that this person, I've been around them when they've done some shit that I don't think is like great, and it's a weird dynamic.
It is. And that's why, like we said earlier, I said this is a tough one because there's like different layers to it. And so what I choose to do, I'm not Switzerland. I don't ever take that route. But what I choose to do is I'm going to support and think about people how I feel about them. If you ask me another question, do you think this is right or wrong? Just in general, I will tell you it's wrong. And the reason I don't get on my mic like some other people do, and I'm not talking about you, and give my opinion on it or start dragging Tom or anything else is because I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know the truth. I could say that it probably is true, and if it is, then it's wrong. But other than that, I got nothing else to say because just like you said, I like Tom, and I'm not going to do it. So am I team Tom? Yes, but I'm not team cheap people.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that if you have a friend who is doing something objectively wrong, it's okay to say that.
It's okay to say that to them.
To them.
It's not okay to say it to other people.
But if they turn out to be a scumbag,
then it's
like
okay.
Mike Postle was my friend.
Okay, that's different.
Not my super close
That's
friend.
different.
I never went out for like a dinner with him one-on-one, but he always played in my game. And I had his number, and we would text, and we all hung out in the same circles. And then I had to call him out, and he's a fucking scumbag, and I had to just.
But see, here's the other thing too that we always, and I know this is like the View right now, but the bottom line is like, everybody's different, and we won't get into what it is, and I don't have any need for it because you and I are square. But that's where like, I'm different. Like, I may think something that I think, but I will not go there and say it to anybody because out of respect for the fact that I care about you. And I think there's a lot of things about you, just like you do me, that I don't agree with.
Why is this about me now?
No, I'm saying because it's the point where, no, it's not about you. It's about both of us. I'm saying that's how I am. Like, you may know how I feel about certain things, and people may know like we're polar opposites, but I'm not gonna do that, and I just don't do that. And so so I'm using that parallel to you to say that's why I won't do it with Matt. Like, I'm not going to do it. And someday if I'm proven wrong, then I'll be on saying it. But until then, I know how kind he's been to me. I know some of the things he actually does do. I know them. I'm confirmed in. Before I went into business, I researched everything. And I see how he is with his daughter. I see how he is with his son. I know the things he gave up. So for me, that's his character. And his delivery system about life and about things about himself is different than mine. And I notice it, and sometimes I'm going, oh, please don't, because I know how the world works and how it'll be received, but I'm not going to hate him for it. That's all fair. I can say, yeah. So, anyways, that was a good talk.
Yeah, it was a good talk. I think now the audience is probably sick of me saying this, but I don't give a fuck. I will. I really love the like more open, honest dialogues that we're having, and not so much resentment at the end of the show, because I used to have a lot of resentment because I felt like I couldn't say things. Yeah. And I feel like you and I have gotten a little bit more of a neutral ground where we can say it's okay to not agree on something, and we can still be okay with each other. Yeah. And the conversations are better. I think our shows have been better.
Yeah, I could tell you, I could be wrong, so I don't want this to go south. And if I'm wrong, just tell me, and I'll just accept it immediately. For me, what I think, well, first of all, no, that I was going to say something that's actually not true. There's been adjustments on both sides. The adjustments on my side have been, is now I understand you better. I understand some of the things that I say that were bothering you that I didn't know before and how I said them. So I've made a lot of adjustments, and I think you see the true core of who I am. So you feel differently about me. So if you feel differently about me, you're less likely to be triggered by some of the things I say. Although we've even in the last few podcasts, there's been a couple of things like you're like, and I'm like a couple things like, and we just deal with them and it's over. I just think we've made the choice to do that.
I also think I kind of like you now.
That's
I hated
the reason.
you. We went to Vegas, the GPI Awards, and had a fucking great time.
Yeah.
We played 1-2 PLO, this guy.
I had the best time of my life.
That was the best time I've had playing poker in like
hysterical.
the last 5 years. It was hysterical. And you got a little bit of, Nikki, you're so fine. You're so fine. Oh, yeah, I'm sending Brian that video.
You can do it. Yeah.
I think I sent Brian the video.
That
Brian's already in the room.
That guy felt me.
Hey, Nikki, you're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Nikki. Oh, my God.
Yep.
So you got molested.
I did. I got molested.
He was trying to kiss me, and then he went to you instead.
Yeah, well, you pushed him over to me.
I said no.
You said no, and you said go do him.
Yeah,
Nikki. And he did it. Yeah. I told you this term before, the hair wiggle. So there's an Italian term that my grandma used to say. Oh,
God.
Well, it's like, yes, she used to say, like, you wait for someone's hair to wiggle. And what she meant by that is to make a point. There's this guy here, and there's this guy here. You like him, you fucking don't like him. This guy here, the guy you don't like, could say or do something, and you're immediately triggered by him. You know why? Because you don't fucking like him.
Yeah, the second his hair wiggles.
Hair wiggles. No, yeah.
Yeah, you said this already.
Yeah. Well, I asked you, and you looked at me blank. And the guy that you like girl could do whatever, and you're like, I get it. I like him. I know him. He's just joking, but this guy's whatever. So we were waiting for each other's hair to wiggle because we really didn't like each other. Deep down. All right. We're going to leave it there. This is The View. I am Nick Vertucci, and with Veronica, Valerie, Vernica Brill, and V out. Remembers her name.